Have you ever thought about what would happen if you just showed up in a new town, a total stranger, but with a secret mission? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. It's a story about how a few simple gifts can unravel a huge mystery, all because of one quiet, unassuming man. Let's get into the story of Theo of Golden.
So this entire story comes from Allen Levi's novel, Theo of Golden. And I've got to tell you, it starts out pretty quietly, It's gentle. But stick with it, because the way it builds to the ending, it's just, wow, absolutely stunning.
Okay, so this quote, "The blues of Golden were plentiful that year." Right now that probably means nothing to you. And honestly, it's not supposed to, not until the very end. But trust me, this little line is the key that unlocks the whole mystery. It's a huge clue that this story isn't just about being nice to people. No, it's about art, and about a life that was lived completely under the radar.
All right, let's set the scene. We're in a town called Golden. Picture it, one of those postcard-perfect southern towns where everything seems, well, almost too perfect. But that all starts to change on the day a total stranger arrives.
And this stranger, he just calls himself Theo. When people ask, he says he's from New York City, on business, but that's all he gives them, nothing else. He's this quiet, older guy who just observes. He's fascinated by the tiniest things, like the pattern or the ironwork on an old building, or a single flower. For all intents and purposes, he's a complete mystery, almost like a ghost.
But then, we start to get a clue about why he's really there. And it all begins, as these things often do, in a local coffee shop.
The coffee shop is called The Chalice, and it's basically the heart of the town. And its walls, they're covered in art. 92 incredibly realistic pencil portraits of the locals, all drawn by an artist from town, Asher Glisson. The moment Theo sees them, he's just captivated. He sees something more than just decoration. He sees an aliveness in them.
And this quote from the artist really gets to the heart of what Theo was seeing. Every face is a story. So Theo isn't just looking at pictures on a wall. He's seeing entire lives. He's looking at them and thinking, what's that guy so worried about? Or why does that young woman seem so shy? He's seeing the real, deep humanity that the artist captured in every single pencil stroke.
So you can almost see the wheels turning in Theo's head. But his first thought isn't, I want to buy this art for myself. Not at all. Instead, he's thinking about the artist, Asher, and how selling them would help him out. And he's thinking about the people in the portraits and how their own homes would be brightened up by these beautiful drawings.
And that's when it hits him. He calls it a silly idea, but it's really this beautiful kind of eccentric plan. His mission becomes crystal clear. He's going to track down every single one of the 92 people in those portraits, buy their drawing, and give it to them. Just as a gift. No catch, no strings attached.
So this one silly idea he has, it sets off a total chain reaction. It starts changing the entire town, weaving everyone together in a way that nobody, and I mean nobody, could have seen coming.
He calls these meetings bestowals, and with each one, he's creating this ripple effect. He starts connecting people who might never have spoken otherwise, pulling them all into this quiet current of kindness. It's like a vortex of goodwill that just starts spreading and touching dozens and dozens of lives.
And just look at who he's connecting. It's a real cross-section of the town. You've got everyone from a restless accountant to a cynical bookseller, an aspiring entrepreneur, and even a homeless woman with a brilliant mind. He doesn't just give them a gift and leave. No, he meets them, he listens to their stories, and in doing so, he starts weaving them all together, creating a brand new kind of community.
Okay, but all this time, while he's busy connecting the whole town, the big question mark is still hanging over everything. Who is this guy? Who is Theo really? And why in the world is he doing all this? Well, the answer, it's a real shocker. Way bigger than anyone could have guessed.
You see, Theo's only in Golden for 1 year. Just one cycle of the seasons, from springtime to springtime. And then just like that, his quiet, beautiful mission is cut short by a sudden, tragic act of violence. And the town, the community that he's so carefully stitched back together, is just left in total shock.
And then this happens. A headline drops in a New York newspaper, and it sends absolute shockwaves, not just through the little town of Golden, but all the way through the entire international art world.
And there it is. The truth finally comes out. Theo was actually Gaius Theophilus Sylvaeus. The art world knew him as Zila. He wasn't some random guy on business. He was a legend. A massively successful, incredibly reclusive artist. A true giant in his field.
I mean, think about the two lives he was living. The guy in the small, simple apartment, he was a multimillionaire. The humble stranger who just wanted people to call him Theo? He was an art world icon. He had everything, and he chose to spend his last year not in the spotlight, but in quiet, anonymous service.
So it really makes you wonder, what was his real legacy? Was it all the priceless art he created, the stuff that hangs in museums? Or was it something else entirely?
Well, at his memorial service, the answer becomes pretty clear. His friends, the people of Golden, they realized his greatest masterpiece wasn't a painting you could hang in a gallery. It was the community he built from scratch. It was the lives he touched. It was the simple, profound kindness he shared, day after day.
And that's the powerful idea Theo of Golden leaves us with. It makes you ask yourself, what if the greatest masterpieces we create aren't things we make with our hands, but the lives we touch with our hearts? Maybe a life spent making quiet connections and really seeing the story in every single face. Maybe that's the most beautiful art there is.